Hi everybody, welcome to C-Suite Strategy. Elevate your move, scale you beyond. On the topic of discussion today, we are having human curriculum, human-centric learning in the next strategic edge. Your go-to podcast on tech, cybersecurity, strategy, and growth. I'm your host Prem Kumar yes today, and we would explore how L&D will be human-centric with a strategic edge. Welcome to all who have tuned to Power of Knowing weekly podcast event series, episode 270, live on LinkedIn today. We have we were supposed to have Mamatha Lakshmi, L&D specialist, OD practitioner, and a speaker joining us today. Due to personal medical reasons, she is not able to join us, but to have this podcast, she's given us a draft of the pointers that she wanted to give part of this podcast. I'm just going to read it out because the speaker is not available today and we did not want to cancel the event. So what is that we are talking about today is more on how the curriculum would look when you are having human centric learning and the next steps. If what she says is people first learning is the new generation engine. That's the point that she wants to start with. And if the generation is swallowing the repetitive tasks, the human edge remains inside. Empathy and learning velocity, now decades. Who wins? LinkedIn 2025 L&D report warns about 94% of the executives blame people skills gap for stalled growth, yet budgets still orbit tech instead skill stacks. Time to flip the script is what she's saying, and that's the pointers that we she wanted to share today. Unfortunately, she could not join, but the pointer that she's giving, I am going through it. Imagine every course is running through a purpose, practice, and a performance lens. Each module is wired to a live KPI. A Singapore based startup did exactly that, linking sales onboarding to discovery call to a demo. So they had linked learning in such a way that the conversation saved about 19% of the ramp time in one quarter. Proof that learning can be revenue lever is what she's saying. Line managers once feared training spend. A consulting company in Mumbai killed that fear with 30-day care sprint, curate, applying reflect, evolve structure, and that saw attrition drop by 27%, while the NPS climbed about 18%, is what she's saying. A nearby factory copied the sprint and trimmed overtime, and 11% of in 6 weeks. ROI was now visible, line item very clearly. Now, coming to the strategic alignment, multiplies the payoff. A cloud provider, a garage used as a platform, used a diagnose, design, deliver, drive blueprint to cut time to competence from 18 months to 6 months. A fintech then grabbed each LMS module to an OKR and orphaned the course was auto archive, tripling the learning ROI in the next board pack. Context matters more than the content. That's what she's saying. Gulp says only 12% of employees apply training that find irrelevant. A mid-tier bank tossed the generic AML desks, short branch floor, TikTok like style clips, and lifted compliance score by 32%. Lessons learned was relevancy fuels retention. So if you are giving relevant information, I think that's the point that she wanted to drive to get. Then onboarding costs can haul a company, services company, 5-day buddy plus burst, a module of 10 minutes Slack missions, or a marathon Zoom saves 2.4 million. Their frame loop, focus, rehearse, apply, measure, and enhance paid for itself in 45 days when the Indian ed tech cloned the same design. That's what she's saying. Empathy drills once dismisses as soft, turns out a hard number. An MIT slogan tied up empathetic leadership to 1.6 into revenue growth. A luxury retailer roll swap Fridays. Managers on the sales floor 2 hours per month nudged NPS 12%, basketing a size behind it. Learning is the flow for swaps turnover. A consulting company again recorded 25% fewer voluntary exits. A DevOps team built up a VS Code plugin that drops 90 seconds test dip whenever a build fails. Developer churn down was 17% in 5 months. That's what is the indication that what is happening is we see there is a lot of scope when we look at how human centric learning in the next strategic edge can brew, and how the leaders are looking at this to be taken as a learning journey with a human curriculum where we embody both uh, AI based learning and the practical way of doing things with kind of a gaming theory is what I believe she wants to convey. So there was a services company proved soft skills academics with hard metrics. Projects finished 23 times faster after they were chained. Skill, behavior, and outcome on the same dashboard as a sprint velocity. Instructor costs fell too, and while a global search engine peer cost model G2G scaled reached six folds to 30% spend, a BPO borrowed play display and boosted lagging QA scores 14% in 8 weeks. Speed to market is again an important point. 40% jolt in a manufacturing company thanks to quarterly learning labs, hy- hyposynthesized hack, hands off. Meanwhile, HubSpot pipeline reviews open with revenue forecasts on the screen and skills heat map on the other side. Early warning radar against quota slips. Learning analytics can speak board language. A services company again, talent risk index, skill depth into project criticality flagged about 45 million gap before launching. A risk exploded. And those who fear AI displacement should note that logistics firms that turned pickers into a combat surveyors via AI plus human workshops, halving turnover while future proofing jobs. Delivery matters. A services company swapped slide decks for choose your own scenarios, simulations, and lift decisions accuracy by 35%. An IT company fused this learning and comp micro bonuses per skill badge and lifted sales by 18% year on year. A fintech bronze, silver, gold medal bonuses paid back within a quarter. Co-building with EdTech slashed curriculums led by 60% for some of the leading companies, and for the 10 months to 4 via collabs model where curate, overlap, leverage, launch, assist, and boost. Engaging still hinges the social layers. Microsoft's Viva comment connector to create, celebrate, boost, bump completion by 19%. Pair the 10-minute mindful reset integrated in each course, burnout was brought down by 22%. Output output up by 11%. You have to guard the human first growth engine, keeping the content in the spirit. Fresh Netflix pulse cycles refresh every 90 days and anchors all of this with a 5-minute daily debrief. Voice note with research shows drives 42% better knowledge retention. Leaders who reflect, record, and revisit daily compound insights weekly. This is what are the pointers we had got from Mamta. What she says is link every session with one KPI. Example, sales calls to demo rate, ramp time fell by 19%. Second point, she wants launch a 30-day care program, micro sprints, resulting 27% in attrition reduction, 18% in NPS scores. Archive any course not tied to a OKR. There was a cut time to competence by 3x, is what she says. Show real world context. Skip generic slides. Create some kind of a gaming theme, an AML clips, or anything which rose by 32% in compliance. Then she says run one empathy drill every month. Role swap on Fridays, which gave an opportunity to see how the other person looks at his role when the role swap was done, which claimed 12% points on the NPS score. Embed nano tips into core tools. Dev plugin grew about 17% of dev churn. Desktop uh, dashboard skills, behavioral and outcomes. Soft skill academies sped projects 23%, is what she says. Give peer coaches credit, 6x reach out of 30% costs. QA got 14% points, is what she's saying. And quarterly cross-functioning labs metrics entry from 12 to 7 months was a drop that she saw, which was a saving of 5 months. Then she looks at skill heat map besides revenue target, preempt pipeline slippages. That's one point she wants to look at. And present talent risk management index to the board. This gave a gap where the training or the learning should be embodied. This caught up a services company where 45 million gap was early looked at, or they saw a gap of 45 million, is what I understand. Plus AI plus human redesign workshops is using, where it should be a collaboration. And I would like to say AI is not going to replace people. It is going to help you make things much easier and make things faster, because the pointer that we want to look at was how learning can be more enhanced with the kind of AI driven methodologies, what she wanted to tell. Then look at swapping some of the slide decks which are old as such. Now look at story sims where you can talk about a story about a project, bring the lessons learned, and how that lessons learned brought in some of the learnings that we can bring in for our strategic edge that is there. Then micro bonuses is what we spoke about. Recognize every uh, challenge that is overcome with a new appreciation, which looked at people getting bonuses from mm, each milestone. Then she wanted to build a co-build curriculum with edtech, like look at how education bodies can look at branding or having a build curriculum where you give a certain pain point and how a course curriculum can be built around, is what we wanted to look at. Then look at burnout reduction, how we can look at burnout, what are the ways that burnout can be looked at, what can be automated, what are the ways tools that can be learned over a period, is what she wanted to give as an edge there. And coming to the last point, she said adapt to 5 minutes daily brief, which has given a plus 42% retention post every week's uh, sprint calls that were there. These are the points that she wanted to pass on as a session today. Due to personal emergency reasons, she could not join the session today. This is the note that I have got. She's prepared a brief details about how she wanted to give the perspective of how curriculum, human centric learning is the next strategic edge. Thank you for being with us, and good day. Bye for now.